Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video, and today I thought of a topic as we see and hear about this all the time of what if and what's that, what happens if Disney bought the franchise, what happens if Saban bought it. But one thing is, Disney owns a piece of Power Ranger history. They own the movie rights to Turbo as well as the 95 Power Rangers Mighty Morphin film. So I kind of really wanted to talk about what if Disney made a new Power Rangers film, because effectively they could do it if they wanted to. But before we begin, if you like this sort of content and you want to see and hear more, hit the like button, hit subscribe, as well as turn on all notifications, and also why not check out merch for yourself? It's more phenomenal. So a lot of questions asked in the Power Ranger community that I see. When are we getting lightning figure collections of the Rangers? When are we getting this? When are we getting this of the films? And I kind of sat down and thought, well, it's because Disney owns the rights to Power Rangers, the movie, so we're not going to get them anytime soon. It's a bit poo, but let's talk about it. From my understanding, and this could be completely different, and this was with the Marvel Studios rights, and I kind of assigned it to this, so I don't know if this is 100% true or not. But, well, compared to other things outside of Marvel. Because Disney bought Fox, they accumulated the rights to a lot of different projects, and one being the Power Rangers movie. And I think on Disney, you can see it on Disney Plus. Can't see it in the UK. It's a bit of a pain. I wanted to check it out the other day just to kind of check a few things out. So, effectively, Disney own the rights, and with their way of doing it is if they don't make anything within 5 years, the rights would then go back to the holder, which would be Hasbro. But I don't know if that's an entire thing right now, or if that's just a Marvel thing and that's it. But let's say Disney go, do you know what, we want to keep the rights for a bit longer, we're going to make our own thing. What could they do? Now, they don't have access to anything but Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie, as well as Power Rangers Turbo the movie. So those are the only two that they can use. But I think that they could do it a little bit more differently. So what would the plot be? I feel like they would kind of change it up a tiny bit. They could easily go down the road of it's a few years after Ivan Ooze, or it's been like, say, almost 20-30 years after it. So therefore, they're back, they want to take over. So Rita and Zed have won. They have literally destroyed the Power Rangers because they worked together, because they didn't want the kind of repercussions of what Ivan Ooze did to them. So they decide to go down and absolutely annihilate everything. The Rangers then decide to kind of band together again and kind of defeat Rita and Zed. Or we could have Dark Rangers instead, and it turns out to be Power Rangers versus Dark Rangers and stuff like we used to see all the time with that one episode where Lord Zed wants to make Power Rangers of his own, and they came in the really horrible spandex. I mean, come on, what were you thinking? At least change the helmet. You could have put the helmets in. Oh dear God. But you could easily have something like that. I could see that you would have a small Rangerverse, and then you could easily move it on where you could move past the suits, you could move past a lot of things, or even design your own and still have it under the Power Rangers name. I do think that Disney could then build it up like they've done Marvel. Hire someone really decent to say, hey, really want to do this. They could easily, I think they could do it. They've done so well with Marvel. Why not try it with a different brand altogether? Now, part of me does think that they would change everything up with it. I feel like because they couldn't use Mighty Morphing, that they would move away from that. I feel like they can't use Power Rangers to some degree, so they could move away from that, but keep the aesthetics of what it's like altogether, which to me would be kind of a cool thing, or it'd be kind of like really bad. So one thing I have watched recently is the Eternals, and it was the battle scene that kind of made me go, huh, wonder what they could do. Or the way that the Eternals were dressed in that film just reminded me that they were Power Rangers. So I feel like if you used that sort of like kind of way of fighting, you would get a huge amount of like coolness. Like it would be really well deserved in my eyes. I think it would really kind of stand out more than anything. I do think that if Disney really took this seriously, like literally went, look, superheroes work well with Marvel, we need to do something ourselves. I think that they could really plan it well and it would work marvelously for what they've got. Otherwise, it just feels like it would be an entire waste. And since they took a massive risk on Iron Man, I think this would be absolutely perfect. In my eyes, I would absolutely love it. To me, Marvel did really well when it came to Iron Man, as I've just said. I feel like the whole superhero genre has completely changed since Iron Man's come out. And a lot of time Marvel and Disney really took their time to develop something absolutely amazing. So I think that if they wanted to try and turn something like this quite big, they could easily turn around with Power Rangers and go, hey, we're going to take this seriously. We're going to do what we can. You can follow us with us. We think that Power Rangers could be the next big thing when it comes to films only, and then create the small Rangerverse that goes around in so many different ways. Now, I know you couldn't really utilize other like Power Rangers like Time Force or anything like that. So I feel like Disney would create their own universe and it would be completely separate. Now they could say, yeah, this is Power Rangers, confuse everyone. Hasbro gets really annoyed, but then Hasbro could just turn around and say, hey, we'll buy the rights back to you. Now, if they did this, I'd be okay. I would love to see it. I would love to see more like Eternals or like Marvel style when it comes to the Hasbro films, because I feel like that's the way you would go forward. If not, why wouldn't you? But I really like the fight scenes in Eternals, even though the film was pretty bad and the ending was really weak. But I really like the fight scenes as well as the superpowers. But with that, I'm going to leave it there. What do you think about this? Do you think that Power Rangers would be a good thing for Disney to make their own version because they own the rights? Or do you think that they should just give it back? Hell, they could probably make a really interesting Power Rangers Turbo movie, and that's a really hard thing to say. But what do you think about all this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit subscribe, check out the merch, as well as check out all the other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。